from training.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today as soon as I meander my way back to the thing. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. Anyway, Nick, I hear we're doing day 3 of your layout series today.
Yes.
So what's that about? I'm just going to hand it over to you for the moment. This is a
Yeah.
schedule.
Hello, Mars. It's good to have you back. So yeah, so that day free, but we have many days, right? We have 3 weeks or even four. I don't know.
Yes, we have
I don't
several
know how
weeks
much.
this
I don't.
upcoming.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4. I will tell you next week. But I think it's important what we talk about, and I want to take my time to explain or everything. I don't want to rush. I want to explain every
Mm.
single aspect of it, right? So far we talk about many things about the colors, the fundamental principle of the coloring, right? I'm going further on this, right? And we talk about our organization, stuff like this, and also we talk about the rules, right? So it's very important because other conversation with a friend of mine, with designer at Capital One, okay, the credit card, right? Okay, financially, okay. So he's designing the internal software, right, over there, and so we talk about their design stuff, right? Okay,
Hmm.
so formerly at Capital One, he switched to another company. So so we're talking about it, and he said, yeah, you're right. We have rules, and we can't violate the rules. I mean, you can do whatever you want in your life. You know what I mean. You can do, can violate the laws. You can violate, but there's consequences. Okay, so we have rules. Why we have rules? I want to explain why. Okay, at the beginning of the software, the graphical interface, right? We didn't have rules because we didn't know about what happened, right? We didn't know, right? So they discovered everything, okay? But with time, so now it's like almost 50 years, there's 40, no, 40 years there. It's 40 years that we have graphical interface since 1984, right? So we're in 2025. So, okay. So it's 40 years that we have experience, okay, and we discover things, right? Um, and many things change after, during this time, right? What changed? You know, remember the first Apple computer with the graphical interface? You had a screen big like this. No, I'm not kidding, right? My face, that was a screen, right?
Hmm.
The first Apple, Macintosh Plus, the Macintosh 125, 128K, right? That was so we had a 9-inch screen. So that was a big problem. So, and now we have like for $100, you have at least a 24-inch screen. Okay. So that you have to take care in mind. You know, take that in mind, right? So we have bigger screen, right? So that means we have more freedom. Okay. We have more space, right? So it's like when you have a small apartments, a tiny room, you need to be smart to organize your stuff. So that's what, so you need a furniture, smart furniture, you need to organize things, you know. But when you have a large, big room, right? Well, you can have a table here, and a desk here, and then you can have a couch here, and your bed here. When you have a big, right? So it's different. So you don't have the same problems. So then you need to analyze how you want to organize your layouts based on the real estate you have. So you can say, can I use all the real estate, or should I stay small, right? Because some people say, "Oh, yeah, I don't want the big thing like this. I want small," right? So all of this, the real estate you have on your screen will drive, right, your layout design. Okay, so and then we have another problem. The other problem we have is that how many things you want to display at once, how many things you want to put on the layouts, right? Because sometimes, what I'm saying outside, right? So you have layouts, you have like something like 500 fields all over the place, right? So you have it all, you display everything, so we call that the pizza, okay? You have everything there. When you see a pizza, you have everything there, right? So it's a pizza, okay? So, do you want the pizza, or do you want something well organized? So, because obviously, when you have all the fields on the layout, well, it can be cool, but also you can be like, oh, where is it? Where's the first name? Where's you don't know. You're drawn completely with this, right? So you need to know what you want to display when, right? And uh, how to organize all of those things. So, and in FileMaker, we have many ways to do that. But we have, let's say, the best way to organize all those things, right? Okay. So now I want to start sharing my screen first. Do we have any question from last time, or can start fresh?
Um, do we have any questions from last everyone? Are we good?
Okay.
I want to see that portal. Okay, Jesse, can you clarify? There are some questions. So,
Yeah. Which portal?
what portal, Jesse, do you want? Okay, there is an image in Discord which I will send to you in Slack. Give me a second. Because she doesn't quite know what the name of the portal is, which just makes sense. But, hold on. Say, please upload the file. Thank you. Okay, it is sending to you in Slack. It is the stacked, that looks like 5 hide conditions on top of each other.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, oh yeah, but that's something else. Oh yeah, yeah, I know, I know where did he get this? Yeah, so but that's perfectly fine. That I know where this is from, so I'm going to show you that. But that's another story. We have a webinar about this. Is when I did the vertical schema design.
Okay, so
So this is coming from that webinar.
got it. Okay, I will go
Okay.
attempt to
Yeah.
locate that. The other one is on Wednesday, Nick said he was going to show us how to make his date picker into a field where the user can type the date to input.
Yes,
Can you
I
show
can.
that, please?
Yeah, I will show that. But now I want to start with this. Why this is not going away? Oh, here. Okay. So, um, that's the only question we have.
Yeah, those are the only 2 questions we've got. Yep.
Okay. So when you have fields, okay. So let's start putting field here. Like this. So let's start about talking about fields. Okay, so I put that field here, I put that field here, like this. Okay, so that's cool, right? But most of the time, what I'm saying is things like this. You have fields, really, really. So you have this and this and this. Let's put some fields here, right? So let's put some field like this, right? And you put something like this, like this, like this, like this, everything glued like this, right? And like this. Oops. Okay. Everything glued like this. So you have a big like this, right? So the prime of this is that you don't really separate, so it's not really clear what you see is too clumsy, it's too, and it's not a good way to manage the fields and the labels. It is not. Why? Is because most of the time, you can have something like this So the primary you have, if you have a large label, so what you're going to do here, right? So if you add something here, if you have a large label, so you need to push this away. So then if you have, let's say, a large label like this is, let's say you have something. So you have, for this label, you need to push this. So you have this blank just because you have one label large, right? So this is not what you should do for fields and labels. Okay. So yesterday we talked about 2 days ago we talked about labels, but I'm going to talk about that more now, right? About the labels. So, and to me, my experience, uh, to have um, the the labels, the same font, the same size, the same color of the data, you don't identify anymore what it is. Okay, it's not cool because the label is not the most important thing that you want to show. The label is not. The label is our a checking stuff, to just you check, right? So you don't need to have this label that big. Instead, when I was at FileMaker, I forced them, because they didn't want to do it, I forced them to build something like this. So here you have 4 ways to drag fields in the layout, right? The first way, this one, you drag field with no layer, with no labels. So there's no labels coming with this, right? Then you have another one, and that's my favorite, but we're going to, so we have this one. The label go next, to the side, to the left. And this one, interesting, he put the label of the field inside the placeholder automatically. So when you put the name of the field inside the placeholder, right? When you put the name of the field, the exact same name of the field name, the label come in the field, right? See, you have the label in the field. If I do a new record here, see, title, first, last. Okay, what? And if I change the name of the field here, it changes here too, because it's the same name. So it's smart, let's say, right? Well, I'm not sure if everybody knew about this, but that's the case. Of course, if you do something like this, right? Let's say you put, and you want afterwards, you want to put the label of the field inside the placeholder name text. There's 2 ways. First, you can just type it the same as the name of the field. That's the same. That means now I have the name of the field here. If I change the name here, doing this, it works. It changed that here. Okay. Also, what I'm doing, let's say you have you don't want to type it. Let's say you have a name a little bit like this. Let's say you have like this, for example, right? So you drag like this, and you want to put work address one, and you're lazy to type it, right? Well, you double click on the field. You said add the label, cut the label from here, select the field, and paste it here. I redo. I have no fields. I don't want to type it here. I double click. I said create label. Create label. He create a label. I cut it because I don't want, and I put that in a placeholder text. And then I have the label doing the same, and I didn't type it. So that avoid problems and stuff like this. Okay. Then we have this way of dragging field in a layout. This, and that's my favorite. Why? Because it's doing this. And this is the best way. Why? Is because I have all this space to put labels. Okay. You understand? I have all this to put labels. All this space is available to me, right? So that means I have more freedom, and it is extremely more comfortable to organize fields. So let me show you why. Okay. So this is my, what's the name? This is the Morpheus theme, okay, that I have here for you. So now it's time to learn about FileMaker a little bit, right? So here I have two objects, correct? Okay. So I want to seize only those, but not those. So I can do click, 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 click. I can do this, or I can do this. Okay. So FileMaker, when you select something, you have two ways to select. You touch selected. Poof. I say you drag a marquee. We call that a marquee. Okay. So you click and drag, but I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, okay. So if I drag a marquee here, I can do this. Poof. I touch it, touch, 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 touch. Okay. Or you can drag, you can type the Alt key, Alt or Command on Mac. Okay. So this is white marquee, and this is a gray marquee. White, gray. So here I don't strike any key, so it touch and select. Now with the Command Alt key, I click and I drag, and nothing happened. If I don't strike the Command key, boom. If I see, now is what I embraced completely embraced. See, I touch it, but poof, it's embraced. Touch, poof, embraced. Everything that I embrace completely, see, I touch it, but boom, embraced. Boom, and you understand? If I do this, poof, nothing, because nothing is embraced. But here, poof. So with this technique, I can do this. Correct? So I selected only the smallest item, right? So that's cool. We knew about this, by the way.
I think, yeah, people are saying that their minds are blown.
So you didn't know about that?
Some people are typing. Yeah. Yeah, they're all saying they learned something. Someone knew. Uh, but
Okay,
okay, so some people knew and some people didn't.
okay.
We do have a question real fast.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
If the field comment is the same as the field name, the placeholder will be the same? Question mark.
The field comments.
Yes, that's what it says. If the field
So
comment is same as the
so you
field
mean
name.
that field comment here?
Maybe he meant, yeah, he meant content. If the field
Ah,
content, so it auto-corrected. Whoops.
oh, the field content. No, if okay. So the placeholder, let's say this is placeholder. The placeholder will will stay if it's empty. If you put something, it goes away, right? It shows on the field if it's empty, correct? So I don't know if that answers the question or not. But anyway, let's remove that for now. Let's show quick fun. Well, okay. So now let's, that okay with the question?
I think
More?
so. Sorry,
Okay,
I'm muted, so we're
okay,
good. Yes.
okay. So I select this. And now with my theme here, I have labels. I have a theme style for the labels. I have label 1, 2, and 3, right? So let's go to the 1. That's my labels, okay? They're tiny, they're gray, right? Because normally I don't have a gray background, but I have a white background. So this is how it looks, okay? Like this, correct? So I have multiple labels. I have the labels 1, center left, label 2, centered and right. Center, left, center, right, center, left. Okay, so here I want to be center lefts, okay? But you can see here the text is a little bit too high because I want this to be glued then down, right? So you select this, you select 1, and you make it the size you want, okay? This is a good size. And then you say, oh yeah, but I want the same size on those, okay? So yeah, okay, you have one way you can say, okay, what the height of this? This is 13. So you can select all of those and say 13, right? Or my favorite way, you select all of those, and here you need to learn about this. So who knows about this? Who is using this arrange and align stuff here?
I do, but I would love shortcuts
Okay. Yeah,
all
there's
the
no short.
time.
Yeah, there's shortcuts, but they are, where are they? They're here, right? Yeah, here.
hmm
Yeah, see. They're how to learn. You know what I mean? They're hard to but you don't have all of them, it's yeah, you understand what I mean. But anyway, so you select this and then you say, okay, I want, so you have 1 small and 4 big, not tall. So you want to make them smaller. You want to make them all to the size of the smallest. This is your button. Resize to the smallest eighth. Okay? Poof. You understand? Now, now I want this to be touched to this. So I select all of them and I make them like this, a little bit like this. Okay? Correct? Oh, I forgot one. Like this. So now I have a nice label that is not crushing the design, right? It's doing its job, small enough, big enough, and I wear glasses, right? And now this is how it looks. Okay? Well, now is too spacey. There's too much space there. Okay. So I want to teach you how to organize things like this, how to make sure that, you can get the best result and how you can save time when you have something like this. Okay. Because obviously it's too, um, there's too many space between those two, too many space. But I don't want to do one by one by one. This is awful. Okay. So this is a trick. You select those two and you group them. So group is Command R. This is easy to easy to understand, to learn. Where's the group? Group. Where's the? It's on edit. Group them. I don't even know where's the no, where's the group here? Group, right? Is there arrange group or Command R or Control R? Okay. So Command R for those two, 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 Command R for those two. So now I have one object, right, for two objects, but FileMaker will consider that one object. So now I can do this, right? I can do something like this, grossly, select all, and use this here, the distribution vertical, this one. Distribute vertically, poof. Right? So I redo it again. So you put those like this, right? Grossly, right? And then you select all and boom, distribute it vertically. Right? We okay? So now, well, it's better, but something missing here. A nice separation, right? So it's easy. You drag something like this here, the same length as a line, the same length of those, right? Here, you have a separation. Separation, I have one separation, right? So now I can duplicate this here. So I just made a duplication, right? So how to duplicate an object, okay? Well, you hold the Alt or Option key in the Mac. You select the object. You struck the key, and then you tear down like this. So that make a duplication, right? See, right? And now I said yes, but I want to do the same thing again twice, right? So I do Command D for duplicate objects. I don't know where is the duplication. Another Command D, duplicates. I don't know. I don't know where the duplicates. It could be there. Duplicate. Okay. But if I duplicate right after I did that duplication, dragging like this is doing this, right? You duplicate. So you rearrange grossly like this, right? You rearrange grossly like this. But with the what's the name? The guides, right? It's quite easy to do, okay? To rearrange those things. Otherwise, you have another way to do that, right? So let's say, let's deconstruct this, right? So let's deconstruct. right? So I have these two objects, I have this line, and I have this object, this line, right? And I have this object, this line. So it's all deconstructed, so now we can see all the object, right? So you have this, 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 this. Okay. What happened if I do something like this? If I do roughly, I do something like this, right? And I distribute something like this. What happens if I select all of those and I do this? Well, it did something wrong here. Yeah, because if I do something like this, right? So so they're all like this, ding, 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 ding. What happens if I do this, right? Well, this happened. So it distributes all those objects the way I want, right? So if you want a little bit closer, you can do this, you can do this, right? You do, and then you select again, and then boom. So it's closer. So now I have a nice object, nice looking object, right? So you have this, 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 this. See, it looks great. And it's easy to read, easy to build, because what you don't want to do is to deal with this. You don't want to deal with this, you don't want to, I mean, don't deal with the borders, left, center, don't deal with this. I completely personally, I completely stopped dealing with fields borders, right? Because it's too much work, right? It's too much work. Especially when you want to stack fields like this, right? So I prefer to have a fields, right, with nothing, no borders, right? Nothing. And only when you have the in focus state. I want to be blue like this because you want to know where you are, when you edit a field, right? So you want this. This I want, but I want all the fields, right? So that easy, right? It's easy because I want to know where I am, right?
Mhm.
But otherwise, I don't want to deal with the borders. And typically, when you have something like this, right? What you want to do is to have something like this. So you have an area where you put that on the back, right? So now this is how it looks, right? So now I can put back this to the gray, and now I have this. I have this nice block of fields, right? And they are easy to read, easy to edit, right? And as you noticed, is like I have briefing. I don't make it too clumsy. The fields. So because I remember back in the 90s and stuff like that in FileMaker, right? We had those. Why is the sweep debugger? We had this. Uh, you know, New layout. We had this. So that is the back in the day. That's what we had. Don't know if you remember. So we were dealing with things like this, right? So you have feel like this, right? So very, like why this? Why? I know you remember that, right? You remember we had this, right? Right? We had this back in the 90s. Why? It's because I remember in the 90s, in 91, I had a $5,000 13-inch Trinitron screen from Apple. $5,000 13-inch Trinitron screen monitor, right? On my Mac 2 FX. You understand? So, and I was like, wow, you got the 13-inch screen? Are you insane? Right? You understand? But now with $100, we have a 24-inch screen. So this stuff here is no longer necessary, you know. And here the catch. When you deal with something like this, you need to start dealing with this, you know, and deal with this and deal with this, you know. Yeah, you know. So this look good, but now look. So you need to go there and make sure that the in focus is all of it, right? So in focus and in focus and this, you know. Okay. So now you have something like this. So look all the work you need to do, you know, to do something like this. And it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good because if you want the labels, let's say I'm creating the labels. So this looks crap, you know? This look crap, right? So what you want to, so when you have something like this, doesn't look good. So no, what you want to do, whoops, you know, you want to start the crazy thing, you know, you do this, right? So you want something like this, but now you turn off the in focus. So you need again select all of those, go to in focus and make sure you have this. So now you get the in focus, and then you need to deal with this, you know. So this is the other madness you need to deal with, you know. You need to deal, okay, I do the, you know, the fast way. You need to do this, and then you need to do this, and then you need to do this, you know, and make sure that you have the gray solid, uh, right? So you have this, and then you want to glue this here. It's a nightmare. You know, you want to do that? You want to do all this work with the borders and stuff? Do you want it? So I'm asking, do you want this? Do you want to deal with this? You know, you need to do this, and you need to make centered, you know, and then you need to make this centered, you know, and then you need to do this
Uh,
and this. Oh, okay. So do you want to do all this madness?
Not particularly.
Okay, yeah, you don't want to do that, right? And then you need to do the padding, and then you make sure that here. So yeah, so maybe you have something looking okay, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look. This is not good at all. This is 1990. Okay, we don't do boxes and boxes and no, we don't do that. You know, we do this. You know, this is 2025. This is it. This is a design for fields in 2025. Period. Right? You can be a little bit less conservative on the space. You can deconstruct, you know, and do something like this. So you can move them a little bit more, right? And you can move this line a little bit more. So when you have an object that bothers you like this, I have this object in front of my, and sometimes, boom, I'm selecting this object. What you do, we have the object tree. Another thing that I fought like crazy to get over there, object tree. I don't want to see this object, get rid of it, but not delete it. It's there, but don't don't bother me with that object anymore. So I don't have it. So I can't accidentally choose it. So now I have those things, right? So now everything, see everything aligned. The line, the field, and the label. I'm selecting those three object group, three object group, three object group, three object group, and two object group. And now I can do like something like this, to be a little bit less conservative, right? So I mean, on the space. So it now is more, right? So I gain some space. So we can do this, right? This look okay. This look okay. So see, you can space out or space in. I mean, depend. taste, but still, I don't have the way it was in the 1990, right? I don't have this, right? And this is big because in the 1990, 12, heck no, that was what we got in the 1990s, 10, because screen were so small, right? Right. So, but we don't have this problem. So why still continue doing this? And did we borders and boxes? No, you know, this because I don't want to deal with border, the border is this objects, right? And the benefit of this is that I can get rid of it. It's an object and I can move around and I can duplicate this, and I can remap if I want, right? So I can say, okay, I want another thing. I want nodes, whatever. I can duplicate this widget and then repurpose it very easily. You understand? Very, very easily. I can do that, right? To repurpose this, I want to repurpose this. So I'm doing this, right? So I'm hiding this object that I don't want. I ungroup everything, right? And then let's repurpose it. So what I want, for example, I want the personal email and the personal phone and the work email or the home where the work the where's the other email? Where the other email? Work email, personal office email. I want the office email and the office phone, right? And the notes or the fax, for example. I repurpose it. So now you say, yeah, but where's my labels? Yeah, okay, no problem. So you create the labels, right? You create the labels like this. I don't want to type. I'm not a type guy, and I hate typing. So I create my labels like this, roughly. But of course, I don't want to move around. So I select those objects here, put on the side, and then I cut this, and I double click here, and I paste. I cut this. Uh, I cut this and I double click here and I paste, I cut, I paste, I cut, I paste, and I cut and I paste. Boom. Voila. My object builds in, let's say, 40 seconds, right? I repurpose it. And you can do it again and again on another layout. So more you will build objects. If you build an object that is flexible, it's flexible. This flexible, I can do whatever I want with this because it's multiple object. It's not like a boxes and the borders. No, it was very easy to repurpose. Are we agree with that? Do we have an agreement with this?
Uh, comments, everybody? Yes. Yes, great. So, they are in fact in agreement.
Okay, we have an agreement. So don't forget something. Okay, so everything I'm telling you, these are design practices for FileMaker, right? I'm not saying if tomorrow you do your own apps on the phone or on with the Xcode, or if you do or your own website, maybe you won't use that. Well, if you go on the main of the website, you will see that as well. But but this is for FileMaker. I'm talking about. So I'm bringing to you design principle that fits FileMaker. Okay, fits the data, fits the editing of data. Right? Right. This is great. I see what it is. Right? So it's easy to read, fast to build. Easy repurpose. You can repurpose easily, right? So this is what we want. So when you build something, you can repurpose it. So most of the time, what I'm doing is, oh yeah, let's borrow this from this this layout. Oh, let's borrow this from this layout, right? So this is for fields, So you can organize your blocks like this, right? So you can say, and after that, right, when you have this, right, you can do something like this, and then you bring a text, and then you say, okay, what this is a communication, right? If I write it wrong correctly, that's communication. So here we have I have an area title. Which one I want? The area, yeah, this one, area header one. So this is the one I want because I want to bring this here. And you notice something here. The theme I'm going to give you is well organized. Why? It's because this here, the field here, I have a padding of 5. And the labels here, I have a padding of 5. That means they are aligned on the left, right? It's not like this because otherwise it looks ugly, This look ugly. This is ugly. This is ugly. Need to be aligned. And I'm going to be very, very, very mad now about this when it's not aligned. Everything needs to be perfectly aligned. Perfectly aligned. Both. This look great. Okay. This I don't want to be aligned because this is a title. You don't want the title to be aligned with this. This is a mistake. I want the title to be aligned here, but to be aligned here, right? To have like a small indentation to say, okay, this, you know what I mean? So here we do the same thing, right? So we make this the same height. You duplicate this object, boop, 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 right? And this is general. Okay? General info. Okay? This is it. So now I have my two objects here that look great. Okay? Poof. Right? But most of the time, we don't need this this title. We don't because it's understandable. Those are emails and phones. This is title, name, company, job title, right? We understand, right? But I want to show you this title stuff, right? Correct? Well, after that, before we go to the question, we can improve this, we can improve. So how we can improve the visibility of this? Because this is boring. This is a boring layout. This is boring stuff. Something wrong here. Okay. Well, you can, now that this is built, I can ungroup all of those stuff. You ungroup all, to get all the object independent because now it's constructed, is there, right? So how we can improve this? Well, this is where the placeholder take, the title. Let's say I have Mrs., Mr., right? Like this. Pop-up menu, and I have, I have it. Title, right? And this is Mr., Mrs. Bro. Okay? I have this. So here, something wrong. It works, right? But something wrong. Something missing. This. What I need to do with this title stuff? Well, you need to do, with two O's, that's enough. You need to choose. Choose. Okay, I choose. I want Mrs. or I want Mr. right? You choose. When it's empty, you choose, right? So when it's the first name, right? First name here, I want to have something too. So what I'm doing here, because, you know, you you can do, you know, so you can say most of the time we say this, you know, to be inclusive. And last, you know, though, company, well, I use my Acme. And this, I have another choose. Pop up here, job title, right? And I say choose. Well, right? Choose first name, last name, company, and title, partner, Mr., right? So it doesn't look, boring, right? So you can, an idea, okay? So you have some stuff here, right? So you know what to do, you know, right? But this is just an idea to give you. Typically, I don't do that here. So when you have one, you can select and delete. But when you have multiple, where it says multiple values, so I cannot delete multiple placeholder at the same time. But yes, that's the technique, right? You put something and you delete. You put this, sorry, you put whatever, you put one, you validate, then they have all the same, and then you can delete it. So I do it again. Here, I can't delete because I have multiple values, because they have all different placeholder. So I put the same on the free. So now they all have one. So now it doesn't tell me multiple value. It said, okay, the free has one. Then I can delete and boom, right? So I do it again. Here are multiple value. I replace with one, I validate, and then I delete, right? So typically on the first name, last name company, I don't put anything. Here I love, I put my choose stuff because, you say, okay, you need to choose something, right? This is where I like to do something, you know, well, those emails, so I can select those two at the same time, and I said, email at company .com, for example, right? Phone number, well, you select those two and you say, okay, like this is like this is this space, this is uh this. Okay? Okay? So, and the same for the fax. Oh, what happened here? Oh, yeah, it's you need to do this because I have the parenthesis. So when you put a parenthesis, you need to start with a quote, right? So tick, 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 and tick, 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 boom, boom, 4 here. Okay? So here and here. So this is how it looks, right? So you can put this, or you can put a number, whatever you want, what have you, okay? So you can do this, right? If you want, okay? You can do something like this. So for the placeholder, then it gives you like, what you put here. I know that I don't even need to read that because I know that is an email, right? And phone, email, phone, right? But this is only if it's empty, because if you put something, you know, well, boom, right? Choose like this, right? So this is for the basic for fields, right? That you can, you can use as a primary design for fields. Any questions?
Uh, what is the color of the gray background? Like,
E,
what's the
e,
hex or RBG?
oh, the which gray? I'll use all the same gray. This gray is E9, 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 E9,
There you go.
E9, So this is an E9. So I have E9 everywhere. This is, I don't remember which one is F6, right? But for those, and here it's D8. But this here is E9, the lines, right? But there's something you can do, right? If you, for example, you have a text here and you want the same color of this one, right? Right? So you can borrow this color. Oh, no, sorry. You can borrow this color here, boom, boom, and the style. But if you want the color, this copies the style, you know, we call that a painter. So if you have an object like this, right? But that would be my next, the style stuff. I would have order a day on this. But if you want to bother the colors on this, you want to bother the color, right? Um, you go there, right? You copy this, right? And you paste here, here, and you validate, boom, right? So you can borrow. You go there, uh, you know, you select the color, this, right? You select the objects, you go there and you paste, and you have the color. Or you can just type it, when you know it, when you know the color, you go there, is be free, be free, be free. Boom. Right? The grades are easy because it's a repetition of the same pretty much. Here it can be tricky sometimes. See? This is, you know, this is to remember this, right? And that's why you have the palettes. So because I built for you a palette here, right? I built the palettes because that the fundamental colors. The accents, the the typical red that I use, right? Or the typical green, right? So that's why I have the red, green, because those are, the dark blue sometime, right? So you have a palette here, right? Do we have any questions?
Was that a slide panel that he put behind those fields?
A slide panel?
I assume you're talking about the white that's directly behind the fields it's hovering.
This? Oh no, this is a shape. It's a rounded shape.
Cool.
So by default, I have the outer shadow because I like it. It gives her, some depth,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on the layout, right? I think it looks great because it makes, because if you remove it, it looks like dull, right? And if you put a background, like this, well, yeah, nah, don't like it. You know, this looks way better. So there's no border, but just a nice shadow, right? So I think it looks better like this. So this is just a shape, right? Shape. So you have the rectangle with the square corners, and then you have the oval, right? Like this. If you want to drag a perfect oval, you do this, a circle, right? You shift. So shifts, if you drag with shift key pressed, you get this. Without the shift key, you did like this. Shift force the height and the width to be the same. Same for square. If you square like this, boom, see, it force the same ratio. So see, so here is free, but if you do this, it force the same ratio. See, it force. So, other question?
Not at the moment. So.
Well, but yeah. So next week, we're going to talk about a little bit more about this
Mm-hmm.
and about spacing, about organizing, right? And I'm going to show you an object that I love to build. So we're going to start to build our own UI components that is not out of the box, right? You need to build it yourself, but it's possible to build it. It's not difficult. It's not complicated. And when you have one object, it's easy to repurpose the objects. Okay. So next week we're going to start building our own. It's not there. It's not something we have. Unfortunately, I hope one day we will have one. But before we go, and before we FileMaker didn't want to do what they did here, you know, because who is using this and who is not getting crazy with this object? Who doesn't get crazy with this tab control stuff?
I think that would be really interesting.
So
So,
I'm asking, so people are typing?
yes, they are. I wish they had more options.
Yeah, that's a problem. So, you know, it's they can't make it with options because otherwise this stuff will be like crazy, right? So and the this, I mean the guy that came from the very dark age of FileMaker, the FileMaker one, something like this, right? And the guy who built this, you know, I don't know. I don't know what do I want to do to him. I think it would be like, you know, bleeped. So because this is a nightmare, a freaking nightmare. And when you want,
Nick?
right? I mean, this object, I can't, I'm sorry, this object. So it's because, what's the name? They,
Nick, you're cutting out randomly. I am unsure why. Uh, Nick? Well, we are technically at the end of the hour, so the tab control gods are mad at him. Yeah, it does look like that, unfortunately. Nick, I don't want to like close it down. Oh, Nick? Nick? I hear nothing from you, my
okay, yeah.
friend.
Can you hear me?
I can. I
Okay, yeah,
think your internet is giving up on you. So do you want to
yeah,
wrap
yeah,
things up
yeah.
real
My
quick
internet, yeah.
before?
Sometimes, sometimes Elon bail on me, So, so it's okay. Sometimes it happen, yeah. And but it's funny because it happen every day at the same time, right?
Yes.
But when it happen, most of the time I say, "Oh, you've been disconnected from FileMaker. Get out of here." So anyway, it's time to, that means time to go.
Yeah, yes. I'm about to say, I feel like your internet is letting you know that you are
Yeah,
now done with everything.
yes,
Someone
I'm done for
suggested that the
today.
tab control gods are mad at you, which I thought was
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, exactly. The type control God said, "Oh, you talk bad about me, bam, cut you." I got censored.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for sticking through us with this week. Oh,
Okay.
wow. I can speak English. Holy crap.
Yeah, yeah, but
If
fist, I don't know.
I don't know how to look. Okay, real fast. If you would like to hire Nick, feel free to send us an email at support@rcconsulting.com. He is currently available. He is obviously a master of his craft and is looking for customers. So, which I will reiterate that on Monday at the beginning as well. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nick, for coming. I will see
Thank
you
you.
all Monday. Bye
See you on
bye.
Monday. Have a good weekend, guys.